Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, February 21st, 2019. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. One must look at the country's GDP when examining its debt situation. So says Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who told a news conference earlier this week that there has been many discussions surrounding the country's debt, which much criticism is being made from a numerical standpoint. The Prime Minister said one must not simply look at the numbers and gave the example of a person whose income increased but debt percentage remains the same.
Working for $1,000 a month and your debt is 10%, your personal debt, that's $100. But if in 2018 you earning a salary of $10,000 and your debt is 10% of the $10,000, that's $1,000. And they say, boy, look at how this man put himself in debt. He used to have $100 a month debt. Now it is now $1,000, except that you have a SUV, you have a 3-bedroom house, your debt levels about the same as a percentage of your earning capacity.
The Prime Minister said complaining about the increase in debt during a particular period while not examining the increase in the GDP during that same period is intellectually lazy.
By anybody who says he's an economist and is so lazy intellectually, to say, boy, in this 2001, the amount of debt was so and so, and look at how much it is now. And I will say to you, yes, but the gross domestic product in 2001 was about 800 and something million dollars. It's now 2.1, 2.2 billion. Yeah? And when we came to office, the debt was around where we are now, 72, 73%. And we have a trajectory going down.
The Prime Minister said a recent report from the international rating agency Moody's gave a favorable outcome for the country's debt situation.
And importantly, we just had Moody's. Moody's rated us at the same level, and one of the points they made was that our debt over the medium term is on a downward trajectory, and we have a plan online to have it come to 60% of GDP in 2030. What about all the countries around us, where the debt is far more elevated? Huh? And they skip and they hop and they jump.
During the presentation of the 2019 budget estimates last month, Minister of Finance Camilo Gonsalves told Parliament that as of September 30th, 2018, the total public debt for SVG amounted to $1,614,636,050. This figure, he said, is 1.0% less than the total disbursed outstanding public debt for the comparative period in 2017. The government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, today issued a statement calling for dialogue and the promotion of peaceful coexistence between the Republic of Pakistan and the Republic of India, both of which share diplomatic ties with SVG. A recent bomb attack in the Indian-administered region of Kashmir resulted in the death of 44 Indian paramilitary police officers. A Pakistan-based Islamic group was reportedly behind the attack. In a news release issued today by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it states that the government of SVG condemned the attack against the Indian paramilitary police officers and that terrorism is an unacceptable affront to all humanity and must not be condoned or sanctioned by any abiding state. The ministry said SVG is committed and resolved to fight terrorism in all forms, taking into account the undue effects it has on innocent civilians, and that the perpetrators of acts against the Indian paramilitary police officers must be prosecuted and be held accountable. The Chateaubriand Smart Hospital should be able to provide the necessary healthcare services to residents when needed. That's the view of PAHO WHO representative Dr. Godfrey Trireb, speaking at the handing over ceremony of the Smart Healthcare Facility to the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment earlier this week. Dr. Trireb said while having a smart hospital is a great achievement, having healthy people is even more important, and that persons should now be able to access quality health care from the facility.
One of the things we would like this facility to eventually be is one that is never used for hospitalization, but one that is only used for people to remain healthy. So people come here to seek health. We want this to be called a health center, not a hospital, where people come here when they're healthy. When children come here, not because they're injured their toe or their finger, but come here to seek advice on how to remain sexually healthy, how to grow into healthy adults. Where teenagers come here to seek help to change their health behaviors, to have healthy behaviors.
Though the Chateaubriand Smart Hospital is spacious and properly ventilated, Dr. Trireb said that a lot is now expected from the facility.
Because, Minister, I would like that Chateaubriand Smart Hospital is also Chateaubriand Wellness Facility, Wellness Center, where people come not because they're sick, but people come to stay healthy. People come so that they don't have complications of diabetes. People come so that they learn how to live healthy when they have hypertension. People come to get early diagnosed of their for their hypertension. People bring their daughters here to have their HPV vaccine. People come here with their children to have their MMR. People come here when it's influenza season to get their influenza vaccine. Mothers come here early in the pregnancy so that they can be followed through and have healthy children.
The PAHO representative said the facility should also be environmentally and baby-friendly that meet the needs of all, whether in Chateaubriand or the neighboring communities. The University of the West Indies Open Campus SVG will hold its annual recognition of graduate ceremony at the Methodist Church Hall tomorrow from 9 a.m. A release from the Open Campus says 37 students graduating from a number of disciplines will participate in tomorrow's recognition ceremony. The guest speaker will be Professor Leonard Ogaro from the Cayville campus and Director of the CARICOM Food and Security Enterprise Barbados. This year, valedictorian is Latoya Brown, graduating with honors, a Bachelor of Science in Youth Development work. The month of March will be used to promote national pride among Vincentians through various forms of activities. This year, a new feature on the program of activities will be a cassava competition among students. Chief Education Officer Aldia Dyer said it is important to get the youth involved in the Heritage Month activities, and the cassava competition is one way to get them on board.
We hope to create more awareness of the indigenous food, cassava. We want to showcase various ways of utilizing cassava and to create an interest among many of the children in partaking of this food. We want to showcase our students' creativity, and we want to contribute to the enhancement of the Heroes and Heritage Month. And of course, this will also heighten national pride.
The 6th Garifuna Conference will also be used to inculcate in the minds of the youth the need to understand their history. Head of the UWI Open Campus, Deborah Dalrymple, said while the youth are being targeted this year, others are welcome to share their experiences and have an input in the research being carried out.
There's hope that the conference will create interest and pride in the Garifuna heritage and explore the possibilities of heritage tourism around the Garifuna and Kalinago culture. The objectives of the conference, and I have to say that this first objective we have it at every conference, in that we want to collect information that's relative to the establishment of the International Garifuna Research Center. We also want to assist with opening up of areas of possible tourism products based on indigenous and Garifuna culture. We want to continue to encourage our people to have an interest in the culture and in the heritage, and to contribute to the enhancements of the Heroes and Heritage Month, and assist always in creating national pride.
The SVG Girl Guides Association, which is celebrating its 105th anniversary, will tomorrow join their colleagues worldwide to observe World Thinking Day under the theme Leadership. The local anniversary celebrations include the annual Altia Commission Brown public speaking competition held today at the Girl Guides headquarters in Level Gardens. The association says the purpose of the competition was to help the Brownie Guides develop self-confidence, a creative imagination, empathy, and maturity in interpersonal skills. Tomorrow, Friday, February 22nd, World Thinking Day, the Bim Bims, Brownie Guides, Girl Guides, Ranger Guides, young leaders and guiders of the association will have the Thinking Day parade starting at 1:30 p.m. from the Peace Memorial Hall to the Kingston Methodist Church, where being led by the police band of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. The parade will climax with an award ceremony at the Kingston Methodist Church from 2:30 in the afternoon. The Guyanese Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be holding its first ever cultural festival called Masharamani this Saturday. The event seeks to revive the Guyanese culture and traditions among the Guyanese living in SVG and by extension Vincentians, so as to have a merging of cultures. President of the association, Gwyneth Cambridge, told SVGTV News that the event is uniquely Guyanese, which is celebrated annually during the month of February.
So we've got our bauxite or rice or sugar or oil and a multiplicity of other industries. And during Mashramani, what happens is that people showcase these industries and what they have to offer. And you can see the influence of the Caribbean in it, because it has also embraced the whole culture of the carnival aspect of it. So it is a merging of cultures, really. And it has been celebrated on the 23rd because that is particularly around our republic time, when Guyana became a republic state. So we're just taking the one day for us to reminisce on what was in Guyana during the time we were there, what it is now. So we're looking at what it is now. And it's a time of reflection, of reminiscing, of fellowship, of fun, of laughter.
A Guyanese food, dance, poems and songs will be the feature highlights at the event, which will be held at the Girl Guides headquarters.
Going to have our old-time sayings so that we see if we can remember what our grandparents used to say, you know, those kind of quotes that they used to make that had us all confused, but it had a real deep meaning with it. We're going to have our little cultural songs, you know, what we would associate with kwekwe. Kwekwe is a rite of passage for when people get married and what they sing and what they do. We're also going to be singing some folk songs, some other folk songs, have some poems from Guyana. I'm really excited about it because it means that we're giving people a chance to meet and greet, because a lot of Guyanese here in St. Vincent don't know each other until we speak, and our accent is so distinct that you just listen, you says, well, you sound like if you're Guyanese. And then somebody says, well, yes, I am. But until the person speaks, you don't really know each other. And so it's a time for us to get to know each other a little better and to establish that relationship that an association needs.
Cambridge said the SVG Guyanese Association has been dormant for some time due to the change in the executive. However, a new executive was formed which will serve all Guyanese living in SVG.
We would have suffered a little setback over the last 2 years, but we're back, as I want to say, with a bang, and we hold fast to the same vision that was there about 3 to 4 years ago, and that is for us to be able to make Guyanese people feel proud of who they are and embrace their identity, that even though we might have been living here for a number of years, we are part Vincentian and part Guyanese. We want to marry the two cultures so that there is one culture, because we would have brought to bear within the Vincentian context our skills, our expertise, and we would have taken from them as well their hospitality, their way of life. We would have embraced their culture, but the two can work simultaneously, or I should say there should be a parallel between the two cultures so that we could be able to still relate to home and still see this as home as well.